Yo, why is it that their support is able to kill 5 of us, but ours isn't? Yo, why the fuck are we on Ultron? Can you get off Ultron?
I am the greatest zoo alive.
Yo, W Ultron.
Follow the enemy.
Final score, 3-2-2.
GG's guys. Thank you, Ultron. Mighty.
Incredible game.
Yo, fuck you, Ultron.
Alright.
I am the greatest.
Okay. Oh my god, there's no way we're doing this all over again. We are so not doing this. Absolutely not. So as many of you have heard already, there was a support strike going on, a second one. By the time this video comes out, it's already been like a few days since. When I initially saw the AI slot picture of Luna, Sue, and Cloak, I thought the post had to be satirical and just not to be taken seriously. Now initially I thought that was the case, where the original poster of this tweet image was just kind of making a joke, and it caught on. And obviously after seeing what unfolded after, well, you know, it kind of confirms that the post was serious, like they legit were serious about it. I had no idea why some strategists wanted to start another strike, and it wasn't until a few days after the strike sort of started blooming that I found out for the reason, and oh my god, it is the funniest yet saddest thing you can think of. The whole reason this strike is happening, or happened to my understanding, is that because of the season 7 ban changes, where now both teams can pick 3 bans instead of 2, people are opting in on banning 3 strategists: Cloak and Dagger, Invisible Woman, and Gambit. Now because of that, a whole bunch of support players are kicking up a storm about this. Here's what I'm gonna say. If you're a strategist main, specifically Sue and Cloak and Dagger, here's a brief warning. Click off the video right now before you get hurt. I don't like smack talking certain players, but oh man, oh man. Otherwise, I want to emphasize that I'm not talking about all strategists or all Cloak and Dagger mains or all Sue mains, just specifically the ones that were for this strike. The smart, actually skillful strategists in the role, from what I saw, were all against this strike. I have a lot to say about the strategist players who were for the strike. So are you still here? Okay, I warned you, but kudos to you for staying, because at the same time, some of y'all need to hear this. It is time to actually get good at the game. Yep, I said it. No more tricycle training wheel characters over an entire year into this game's life, and here you got players, strategists, that refuse to actually learn to play the game, who refuse to have to worry about some of the things us tank and DPS players have to worry about, who refuse to learn something called accountability, because oh my god, when it comes to strategist players and accountability, it is like oil and water. So let me start by talking about the mains of these hot bans. The main reason this strike is happening is because a bunch of boosted support players need their training wheels when it comes to playing their freaking game. They'll play Cloak and Dagger because they're brain dead easy, because you can actually turn off a majority of your motor functions and just pretend like you're actually using some sort of skill in the game. The value that Cloak and Dagger gets in the game for how easy she is to operate is detrimental actually to players, in my opinion. It's as if Wanda could get Winter Soldier levels of damage. Think about how that sounds. Invisible Woman. When it comes to a character like that, you can screw up so many times as Invisible Woman and still not be punished for it. That character has so many ways to disengage an attack on her push, her jump, and as of the last few seasons, her added self shield. They don't give Susan Storm a shield because for some reason strategist players don't know how to manage cooldowns. The craziest part is that you will still get Sue players dying 10 plus times in a game, talking about OMG pew pew, while getting dove on by like an Ultron somehow. Playing Susan Storm in Rivals teaches you how not to take accountability for your mistakes, your bad positioning, your bad management, your bad awareness. Support players will want to say, oh, we're gonna be on a strike again because we support players are so overhated and it's unfair to ban 3 of our characters, blah blah. And it's like, yo, how entitled must you be to feel that way? How delusional and selfish do you gotta be to think like that? Brother, I've been playing tank since the start of the game. Tanking in Marvel Rivals has only gotten worse and worse and worse as the seasons go on by. Now, things might get better for us tanks in season 7.5, but we done gone through 7 whole seasons of pain and misery. Crowd control, solo and tanking, Magneto jail, but we still play the game. We still donned the role. What we didn't do was throw our hands in the air and call for a tank strike. But here some supports want to tell me that they want to throw a fit because they can't play the auto lock on character who has 2 free get out of jail cards, or the character that has 3 get out of jail cards, because your positioning is bad, your game sense is weak, and you're too unskilled to even dare to try another strategist who who doesn't have those things, guys, play Luna. She ain't even hard, I promise you. Yes, you still have to aim, crazy, I know. She also actually has a skill shot with her freeze, which they also made it easier, so y'all should be good with that, right? All you cloak players, Rocket is right there. It's just that when it comes to actually needing to get out of a bind, Rocket's maneuverability actually takes an inkling of effort when compared to Cloak and Dagger, who can just throw down a heal bubble, sit in it, then spam peel, peel, peel to your team until they all turn around and get backshot by the enemy just to make sure your delicate self isn't dead because you mismanaged all of your cooldowns on a Black Widow who's diving you or some shit. White Fox, newest hero. She looks cool. She's actually fun to play. She has good utility and while not busting up the game in any way, shape, or form. I think White Fox is the perfect blueprint of how a support should be. Mantis is right there. Arguably one of the most slept on strategists in this game in my opinion, at least in the middle to early high ranks. Her damage boost in the right hands can shred a team. Actual nasty work. However, guess what? She requires skill and good management, which quite frankly, one of those things can already deter a Cloak and Dagger player from trying the character already. Look, I can get the sentiment that the strategist roster is small enough already, so why ban all three of them? But let's not sit here and act like people are banning those three characters, Sue, Cindy, and Gambit, as if those aren't the most annoying characters in the game. All having things that they shouldn't have. Like, good god, there's nothing the strategist role is going through right now that can warrant a support strike. Hell, I honestly don't even remember why the first one even happened, so if someone could remind me on it in the comment section below, please by all means. I don't like ranting like this at all, I swear, but some strategist players will get so offended if the role that they play or the character that they play is nerfed in any way, shape, or form. It's time for support players to start asking themselves, why are these three getting banned? It's time that they actually start thinking about the bigger picture, because if they did, they would know why people are doing this. But no, a lot of strategist players like to keep in their bubble. They don't care about any other roles nor the energy of the game overall. They just want to remain in their enclosed space, their own la la land, holding themselves above everybody else. Now, the last thing I want to talk about this whole support strike is the claim that a lot of the pushback for this kind of thing and just strategists in general has some misogynistic or homophobic undertones to it. I don't cover stuff like that on my channel. Everybody is welcome. Everybody is going to be spoken the same way as any other human being. I would never attack an individual or group based on their religion, sexual preference, identity. What I and a lot of people will do is talk about stupidity, because stupidity knows no bound. Now, do I think some general rhetorics against strategists have some sexist, hateful, or misogynistic undertones? I do. This is online gaming anyways. I'm not saying it should be a thing. It shouldn't. But much like the internet, anonymity and or fame, no in-betweens, makes a lot of people feel like they can say anything about anything when sat behind a monitor or typing at a chat thousands of miles away from the person that they are talking about. That's just how people are, unfortunately. However, from what I've seen, these undertones are probably not the reason why people are so against the strike and are clowning on it. People are clowning on it because on paper, it's such a dumb nothing burger idea that stems from sheer ego and entitlement, which is ironic because a lot of strategists who are championing the strike think that DPS and tank are that way. There are certain bigger streamers out there who have the social awareness of a peanut. They are what would be the nerdiest and weirdest kids in school, but have gotten lucky to find themselves on a position where they don't have to feel like that anymore. So they say dumb, hateful shit, or just insinuate it in a very coy way. I won't name any names, of course, but there are indeed a lot of dudes out there who are just clout drunken dweebs who probably couldn't hold their own in a normal human interaction without referencing the chat, or without any people similar to them around them. Ooh, surprise! This just isn't about boosted strategists, is it? It's also about the moronic tank and DPS players who are opting to ban C&D, Gambit, and every other main healer in the game, acting like they also didn't get as far as they did in the game rank-wise without a Sue or C&D pumping Adderall up their backsides while they feed, get no kills, and constantly don't make any space for the team. Oh yeah, you guys ain't no better. A lot of you couldn't do what you think is an effective kill streak without a strategist ult behind it, because now with the ultimate nerfs, I'm starting to see a whole lot of people who may have actually been carried by the ultimate slop we had in prior seasons. Idiotic tank players, idiotic duelist plays. You can't sit here and act like you do not benefit from having a Sue, Gambit, or C&D one trick up your coochies during team fights. Acting like, hey, get owned strategist players. Just for you to then decide to have joint decided bans with the enemy team, ban every single healer known to man, then end up leaving your strategist to need to pick useless fodder like Adam, Ultron, or Jeff. Jeff the Land Shark. Sorry, Jeff, Ultron, and Adam players, I don't mean it, but okay, never mind, I kinda do. I kid you not, when I was doing my placement matches, my team and the enemy team were like coercing and cooperating in banning every single reliable healer in the game. Cloak and Dagger, Gambit, Invisible Woman, Luna Snow, Rocket Raccoon, and I was just like, are we both agreeing to just play Ultron Adam? Is that what we're doing? And oh my god, that was definitely one of the worst matches I've ever played in this game. Like, I don't know if people were just memeing at that point, but the fact that in 3 of my placement matches, multiple times, we had 5 healers banned total, 5 separate ones, like, yo, what content creator are you guys listening to? Because, oh my lord. After all that, you then complain GG no heals. Like, bruh, you went through the process of not only digging your own grave, but also going to the nearest lows and getting a bag of soil, building the casting yourselves, and just, you know what, I digress. A lot of goofy people in this game, man. Am I being silly? Oh, absolutely. But I at least try to be moderately goofy. And this topic here, I know I'm in the right because there are a lot of plenty of other sane people, intelligent people, normal people who share these views. So shout outs to you beautiful and smart people. Some of you may say, oh, but then you're contradicting yourself then. How can you sit there and talk about, oh, supports need to learn the game, but also be against tank / DPS players banning these same healers that carried them? One, I only talk about specifically having a problem with Cloak and Dagger and Invisible Woman because I feel like those characters don't really incentivize or cause any growth for some mains of those characters. Two, I can call out two sides of the same coin here. The hypocrisy of some tank and DPS players who think this video is a gotcha to strat players are just as delulu for the very same reason strategists who work for this strike is just too insane to not be called out on. I get the CND ban, I get the Sue ban, I get the Gambit ban. Most definitely, but to ban every single main healer, like, bruh. And like I said earlier in the video, this isn't against all support players. This is just specifically for support players or just any player in general that was for this strike. Because honestly, I feel like if you were for this strike, you're just kind of outing yourself as a bad player, dare I say. And look, that might not be in the entire case, but based on what I've seen, it kind of is. There are so many amazing support players that I have come across that know how to flex, they know how to fill with different other characters, all within the strategist role. They don't just simply just pick one character and they don't just immediately deteriorate when their said character gets banned. Look, I'm not saying as a support you should play every single character, but it does so much to leave that bubble of Cloak and Dagger. It does so much to leave that bubble of Sue. Because to reiterate about Cloak and Dagger, I think Cloak and Dagger actually is a disservice to players from actually learning, you know, better positioning, better cooldown management, better everything, because that character is so forgiving and she gets way too much value from that. It's like think fighting games, right? Could you imagine if auto combos were the best, most optimal way to get a win? That would be terrible. Auto combos are there to sort of be training wheels to make players ease into the game. And once the players feel like, hey, I kind of got a grasp at this, let me push myself to learn a better character in a better way so that I can have better results and better myself as a player. You don't really get that with Marvel Rivals because characters like Cloak and Dagger exist in the strategist role. There are plenty of other characters in the strategist role that I think you have to work hard for, but in return you get so much value from. That's Mantis, that's Loki, that's White Fox. But at the same time, with the way certain supports are designed and what value they get, you're gonna have other players asking themselves, well, why am I gonna pick this character if they do half the value that this other character who's also half the effort do? It's just not good. Anyways, I've kind of ranted on. I just want to get my 2 cents out of this whole thing. Now, one thing that I did want to mention is that these support strike, you may hear about them loudly on the internet like Twitter or YouTube, but to sort of give some people a wake-up call, it's not as big as you think, or they're trying to make you think it is. It's fairly stuck in the internet bubble, be it on their respective social medias, be it YouTube or Twitter, which are huge, but I promise you, a majority of the player base probably hasn't even heard of the first support strike. So I really just wanted to mention that in terms of context, because I feel like that's kind of important. I would say just don't beat yourself up about this. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, but here I am. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate if you guys leave a like, share, and subscribe. I will have some more videos coming out this week, of course. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this whole topic in the comment section below. If you are for this support strike, please forgive my ignorance if it exists there and enlighten me, right? Let's just be respectful and have a conversation about this, because if I'm ignorant about something on this support strike, please let me know, educate me. And of course, if you guys are against it, please let me know why. I've already given you my reasons on why, so I'm very curious to see if anybody else has any different, reasons, or if they just agree with me. But yeah, that'll do it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.